on. Just wanted to reiterate that today we're going to be using a mat as well as a kettlebell. And so I'll show you how we're using that today. If you do not have a kettlebell, I know everybody doesn't have a kettlebell wherever that they're at. So if you don't have that, you can use a dumbbell. I know most of you have dumbbells. You can use that in its place. And if you have neither, because I know we don't usually use equipment in the HIIT classes, if you don't have either of those, then that's fine as well. We can adjust and get through the whole workout even without any equipment. All right, so let's go ahead and get started for today. Now, we don't want to go from 0 to 100, especially whenever we're talking about cardio work. And so we want to make sure that we're good and warmed up. So let's just go ahead and start with a simple warm up. I'm going to start out with some hip openers. We are going to be using a little bit of lower body today. And so it's good to make sure that those hips are opened up. So really pull that leg up high, rotate it back. If you need to readjust yourself after each hip opener, then go for it. If you want to just keep that leg up off the ground and practice your balance, then you can do that too. Or if you need a little help, you can grab onto a chair or a desk next to you to help you keep your balance. Let's go ahead and rotate. So now I'm going to pull this up and over. Just go in the opposite direction. Nice job. All right. Let's go ahead, switch to the other leg. So now we're pulling that other leg back. I started with my right, so now I'm going to my left. Nice job. All right, a few more of these. And reverse. Few more. All right. All right, next up, let's move on. We're going to be doing a specific movement. This is going to be very important for today's workout. So make sure that you're doing these really nice with good form. We're going to be doing some hip hinges. And so whenever you're doing your hip hinges, what you want to focus on, and we're just going to be doing body weight for our warm up to get us ready for movements that are going to be similar in our workout. So whenever you're doing your hip hinge, you want to make sure that all the movement is coming from your hips. So you want to make sure you take those hips, take them to the back wall, make sure that back stays straight, and you're going to lower yourself down by hinging at the hips until you feel a pretty tight pull in your hamstrings. Squeeze those glutes, drive the hips forward, and then repeat. So, great way to get those glutes activated, to get the hamstrings activated. For some of you, that hip hinge may be like second nature at this point. But for some of you that haven't been doing hip hinges, this might be a little bit difficult to wrap your head around or to get your body to do starting out. That's just because a lot of times when we haven't practiced this, it's very easy for us to want to bend at our back while our hips stay stable in place, but we want those hips to go back and that back to stay straight. All right, let's go ahead and come up from that. Now we've done a few movements. Now it's time to get our heart rate up, time to get our breathing rate up. So we're just gonna start out by doing some hops in place. Such a simple movement, but a great way to get that blood pumping. That's why for me, a lot of times, especially if I'm warming up for like a cardio workout, I love grabbing a jump rope, doing a few jump ropes. It's a pretty high intense way to get that heart rate up pretty quickly. All right, nice job. Now, let's go ahead and just do some slight forward and backward hops. Prepare yourselves. moving in a couple different planes of motion. Nice job. All right. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get on to our main workout. So for our workout today, we've got 3 exercises that we're going to be doing. And instead of alternating between them like we do sometimes, we're going to do all rounds of one exercise before we move on to all rounds of the next exercise. Each one of these, we're going to be doing 6 total rounds, 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off. So you get 20 seconds of rest after each work period, so you can bump up that intensity level during your work period in each round. So let's go ahead and start off with our first exercise, and that is going to be skaters. So with skaters, what we're looking at, side to side movement. You can speed this up or slow this down however you feel it's going to be best for you. A lot of times whenever I do skaters, I am practicing stabilizing my ankle, keeping my balance, and then over time, you can start to speed up, pair that into one movement. Now, a few of you that really want a leg workout, not just a cardio workout, you can go all the way down into a slight squat. So, we're going to start out with our first 20 seconds. So remember, we're doing 6 total rounds, 20 on, 20 off. 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Now, as you get more comfortable doing each one of these movements, go ahead and try to challenge yourself more and more. For the skaters, you can increase your speed. You can jump further apart on each leap, or you can incorporate that slight squat into it. Here we go, next round. So now we're on round 2, going for 20 seconds. Now, if this is, if you haven't done skaters, if you have weak ankles, if you have a history of rolling your ankle easily, then you want to make sure to be really, really careful with this and try to stay more upright as you do these so as not to roll that ankle again. That's time. Nice job. Now, we're first starting out as your heart rate continues to climb on each one of these rounds. You'll want to use that full rest period. But even if you're not wanting to use the full 20 seconds of rest right now, I want to encourage you to do that, because whenever we take advantage of that rest, we can put a greater percentage of intensity. We can put more energy into each one of those work periods. Here we go, round 3. So now I kind of got a feel. I've prepped my ankles a little bit. I'm going to start increasing how far I'm jumping side to side. 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Take a second. Now on each one of our rest periods, what can be really good is to stay in motion. Some of you that want to stay in a pretty high level of active rest, you can go back to those hops. For a lot of you that need to really use that full work period, I would march in place, walk in circles, do something to keep moving just a little bit. That way you don't go from 100 to 0 really, really quickly. Round 4, here we go. So last time I increased the length in which I was jumping. This time I'm going to increase that speed, which can really bump up that intensity level. Time. Nice job. That was round 4. Got 2 more rounds of skaters. You guys are doing great. Remember, active recovery, march in place, or you can go back to those hops if you really want to keep that heart rate high. Just remember, you don't want to hurt your work period by putting in too much effort in your rest period. All right, round 5, here we go. You guys are doing great. If you need a little bit of help with balance, you can step that toe out behind you each time you jump to make sure that you get a little bit more stability in there. Time. Nice job. All right, that was round 5. This is round 6. Make sure you're putting all your effort into this last round because you'll be done with skaters after this one. Here we go, get ready. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Put all your effort into it. Three, 2, 1. Great job. All right. That was our first exercise. Fantastic job, guys. Go ahead, take a few deep breaths, get yourself a drink of water. We're about to jump right into our next exercise. All right, next exercise. We're gonna use a kettlebell for. If you have a kettlebell, grab that. If you don't worry, I'll show you how to do it with a dumbbell or how to just do a body weight exercise in its place. All right, so for a kettlebell swing, biggest thing with this, all about the hips, not about the arms. So with a kettlebell swing, you are going into your hip hinge, allow that kettlebell to come back, and then you're squeezing your glutes, driving your hips forward. Use the momentum of your hips to carry that kettlebell up to chest level. And then from there, you're riding the momentum. You're making sure you're squeezing your glutes, driving your hips forward, pressing that kettlebell out. Make sure you're not manhandling it with your arms. If you don't have a kettlebell, you can use a dumbbell. Just hold on to one end of the dumbbell. Make sure you get a good grip and lock your fingers if you need to. And then you're gonna do the same thing with a dumbbell. Keep that back straight throughout. Here we go, 20 seconds. Let's do it. And whenever you do this, you will, this is kind of a practice makes perfect sort of movement. You can always improve a little bit. I've been doing these for quite a few years, and even I have a lot of little things in my technique that I need to improve on. So just keep practicing it if it feels unnatural right now. That's time. Nice job. Use that 20 seconds. As far as your weight of your dumbbell or your kettlebell, going to vary widely. If you have never done these before and you need to practice, I'd start out with a lighter weight. If you have done these before, if you have experience, you'd probably be surprised how much weight you can do because you're moving all of this weight with your hips. So you can actually do quite a heavy kettlebell. Here we go. Round 2. Remember, if you feel your arms or your shoulders doing any amount of the work, then go back to those hips. You want to make sure that you're not using those arms. Time. Nice job. That was round 2. Take that 20-second break. Big deep breaths. Prep for round 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Make sure that back stays straight. Bend those knees. You're not doing stiff legs. But make sure you're still hinging those hips and not just squatting. That's time. Nice job. That was round 3. Oh, and I almost forgot. If you don't have a kettlebell or a dumbbell, I'm pretty sure that most of you at least have a dumbbell. If you don't have either, then you can just practice the hip hinge and get the heart rate up by going into a jump squat. And so go into your hip hinge and then up into a jump squat. So you're really practicing that hip hinge. Here we go. Next up. And 20 seconds. If you're starting to tire out from doing these, lots of reps of these, make sure you're really squeezing your glutes and your core, because we don't want to mess up that back. That's time. Nice job. That was round 4. We've got 2 more. Couple big, deep breaths. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Again, squeeze those glutes. Don't pull with your back. Drive with the hips. Time. Nice job. All right. 1 more round. Let's make it count. You can increase that intensity by accentuating, driving with the hips. Let that kettlebell raise up a little bit higher, or you can increase the intensity by increasing the weight. All right, here we go. Last kettlebell swing. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Great job, guys. All right. Big deep breath. Take a quick drink. We're almost completely out of time, but I want to incorporate our last exercise and do a few rounds of that. Now, because of time constraints and because this is a high intense exercise that's coming up next, we're gonna do 3 total rounds of it. So let's make them count. What they're gonna be, we're gonna do froggers. So the way we're gonna do that, hands down on the mat, start out in a high plank position. And then from there, we're gonna bring our feet flat out next to our hands, like we're squatting like a frog. And then jumping right back into our high plank position. So let's go ahead and do these for 20 seconds. As you do these, if you have difficulty with this, you can step up, step back, and you can still keep a lot of movement. All right, that's time. Go ahead, take a rest. Now, we're just doing 3 sets of these. We've got 2 more sets, or 2 more rounds. So on the next 2 rounds, keep that speed up. Make sure you're constantly moving. That way we can finish off strong. Here we go. Make sure you're landing with those feet flat on the ground, not up on your toes. Time. All right, we've got 1 more. Let's make it count. Big deep breath. All right, let's get ready. Last round. 3, 2, 1. Almost there. Time. Great job, guys. Hey, round of applause. Great job. Thanks for sticking with it. If you are doing our Trivia Mania, make sure to stay on. So I'll go ahead and throw that question up. For those of you, if you are going to be hopping off after this and you have extra time, I would definitely recommend going for a short walk, whether it be just around the room or something like that, to allow you to recover a bit, especially after a HIIT workout. All right, let's go ahead and stop the recording so I can throw this poll up.